picking up exactly where we left off yesterday morning. No, yesterday morning, what day was it? Monday. 2 days ago I was doing this. Two days ago. So, here we go. Are we up and running? I think so. Good morning, good morning. Still going to be a peaceful carving day this morning, I hope. It's a quiet Wednesday here in Asakusa. I say quiet, it's because it's the morning. Now that we're getting to the end of the year season, November, December, party season, bar season, the evenings are just chaos here. Just last night, a few of the staff and me, we went out for dinner together. And when we finished and came back, I don't know what time it was. It was still early. The place was jumping. The streets were busy, packed with people. This is the best part of Tokyo to be in at this time of year. Got the door open this morning. It's not so cold. It's a little bit breezy out there. So I've got the shutter open so we can hear the street sounds. And the plan for this morning is I'm going to be working on this block. I can't possibly finish this one this morning because of this tree zone, so we'll just keep working steadily on this. It's a Wednesday, so I'll be joined by other people. Cameron will be here, I guess, 8:40, somewhere around there, whatever his time is. Then the other staff should be wandering in at sometime after 9. I've got a little bit of show and tell for you today. Interesting show and tell. Something came in yesterday. Something special came in yesterday. It's nice. And it's one of those things that every now and then we get something that clearly should become a video of its own. So I'll show you the print today, this morning. But it's got to go on my list for a David's Choice video coming up soon, I think. Soon, I should say. So something fun today. I might save that for when Cameron gets here because it's a larger item and I need help maybe with getting it on the desk or something. We'll see. So we'll have a show and tell around 9 o'clock. Where did we eat? You see, we ate around the corner. I know some of the restaurants and bars here, they're changing the policy. There's a heavy pressure from the government now to change restaurants and bars to no smoking. And they're resisting mightily. They're really resisting. They have a feeling it's going to destroy their business, that their customers want to smoke. And I guess that's true to some extent, but other countries that made this change, Britain, Canada, whatever, they got through it. But Japan is still at the very beginning of the process. The push to be no smoking is here, but all the entertainment and bars and stuff are resisting. And I don't really know which way it's going to go. But what I was getting to was one of the restaurant we ate at last night was one of the ones that is trying to make this switch. They've got signs up that say no smoking. Unfortunately, the staff is not strong enough to resist customers. And when the customer lights up, the staff just shrugs and doesn't do anything about it. So we're still early days on this. And, last night we were okay. We were there very early. It hadn't become smoky yet, so we enjoyed our dinner. A couple of drinks. I couldn't drink. I had one beer. I can't drink any more than one beer because I had to come back and do sizing last night. So after the other kids went home, I came back and got some sizing done. That's really peaceful. No stream, no distractions, no nothing. Just working quietly upstairs. I guess there's new people in the stream. They have no idea what that was all about, I guess. It's okay. Whatever. Enjoy private jokes. It's okay. I'm really curious what her job is, you know. What does she do? You know, is she the boss of the place, or is she a secretary, or who knows? I really, you know, I can't do it. I can't follow her and see what she's doing. It's really not possible. But I'm really curious what she does, you know. If her job reflects in any way the sound of her shoes walking by, you know. You say this one looks tedious. That's interesting observation, you know. We don't do tedious here in this workshop. If we had the idea that this work is tedious, our life would be awful. You know? The printer's upstairs, you know, or with me when I'm printing. You get a stack of paper, it's whatever, 50 sheets or 100 sheets or 200 sheets. And we print one color, print the next color, print the next color, or in my case here now, carve one branch, carve the next branch, carve the next branch. And there's nothing tedious about it. You either like it or you don't. And, without wanting to be sort of pretentious about this, you know. There's a lot of branches here, yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, whatever. Repetition doesn't mean automatically tedium. You can have work that's repetitive, and yet that is still skilled and inherently interesting. This is not so difficult that there's stress involved in every aspect of it. Can I cut this branch? What am I going to do on my night? You know, it's not stressful. It's peaceful, absolutely peaceful work. And there's just something pleasant about it. Knife into wood, cut, slice, cut, slice. Another thing about it too, this kind of work that makes it not tedious, especially the printers upstairs. People come in and watch them, and they sometimes make the observation that it looks like an assembly line, you know, like the people that make cars or whatever. There's an assembly line running, the vehicles are coming down the line, and you put your part on, you tighten your screw or whatever. Then you do it again and again and again. A major difference between our work and assembly line work is that we control the pace. What must be really difficult on an assembly line is that there's this thing happening, and you're really a robot. 1, 2, 3 at the same speed that the assembly line's running. But the printers, or me, or doing this, whatever, you control your own pace and your own mood and your own rhythm for the work. And even just that one difference makes it completely not tedious. There's an amount of control you have over it that you perhaps don't have in an actual, real factory job. Oh, I haven't heard that sound in a long time. It's something in the Twitch question box. It's been weeks, months since I've heard that sound. I've even forgotten about it. We have a question box here. I'll put up the instructions here. Have I taken the paper out, Doctor? Yes, I have. Although it's a bit late to remind me about this now. Thank you for reminding me. I know recently, actually, before the stream starts, the chat actually, I didn't realize it before, the chat on the channel page for me, for any Twitch channel, is active 24 hours a day. Even when the stream is not running, the chat window actually is always active, the channel chat page. So there's some people who have been here before waiting for me to come online each day. And they sometimes chat with each other before the actual stream starts. And I see messages in here about different things. Oops. Let's pause that. Let's look at the Twitch question box. Actually, it's probably going to remind me about the paper, is it? No, Splinters question. Someone's asking, do you get splinters from wood blocks? No, we just get out. David will be disappointed when he sees it's about the paper. No, paper is out. There's 3 packs of paper out. Thank you for reminding me. And I mean, as I was saying, I was reminded actually before the chat started. But yes, please do not hesitate to remind me. Splinters. I don't get splinters. I mean, there's nothing. There's nothing here to sort of get splinters from. We have a flat piece of wood, and I'm very lightly, as you can see, I'm lightly carving away little bits of wood here. There's nothing to actually get a splinter from. It could be that, you know, maybe somewhere, let's try and pretend to do this. If I was carving and a little bit of wood was sticking up or something, and I brushed my hand on it, I guess I could get a splinter from it lightly. But it's not that kind of a job, you know. Splinters are just not part of life for this kind of a... There's, I know, some people also ask, do you cut yourself? I know these days, almost never. In the earlier days, I was sometimes a bit more careless. You'd be things like this. I might hit my finger with the knife or something like this. I don't now. My finger's in front of the knife, supporting it. I'm not actually pushing the knife into a situation where I would have any chance to cut myself. Where I do still occasionally get a little cut is something like this. I will cut here, then wipe away, cut, and maybe, you know, push away the wood like this. Let's try and do this. Cut a piece of wood off like this. It doesn't come out, so I've got to pop it away with my finger. And if I don't move my knife far enough away when I brush with my finger, so occasionally I do that. And again, try and replicate it. Push here, don't move far. Push here, don't move far enough away. Come here and wipe, and maybe bang the tip of the knife. But that's it. There's no other dangerous position here. These knives, my fingers are all behind the chisels. There really isn't any chance for me to be damaged by these edged tools, you know. And the pace of the work is so slow and so small scale and so soft. There just isn't anything at all threatening here. You saw it there, right? This. Pull the knife back, chup, chup, chup with my finger. And occasionally, if I don't pull it far enough back, chup, chup, I'll hit the tip of the knife or something. But this is hardly an emergency room. She's got a more relaxed approach to life, doesn't she, that one? Those are, of course, that's luggage going by. There's hotels all over the district, so people roll their luggage, of course, these days. Am I missing questions? I don't know, who knows, quite possibly. Yeah, the black outlines here, there's an outline here. This is not part of this block. This is just part of the transfer sheet that's going down. Do I have them nearby? Let's see. I'm cutting through the black outlines, don't worry about that. It's not part of this particular block. Where are they? All the different transfer sheets here. The outlines are on there just to help me keep things in line and organized. What's this? Patron share certificate. The outlines are on the first block. They are cut on the first block. And they will print from the first block. All the other subsequent blocks, the outline is here just to help me keep things lined up, but they will cut off. And the block I'm cutting right now with the trees, the outline there is only for a guide, so don't worry that I'm cutting through it. Next up will be this temple. Tomorrow, more tree. Who's this? Who's this? Is it camera time already? 8:32. He's early for this. Yes, here it is. Good morning, good morning. Quiet stream going on here today. It says the boss is back. Already? It says right here the boss is back. Is that about you or is that...
I don't know. What were you talking about before?
No idea. I just actually have been carving in it just a minute before I turned to look and there's a bunch of questions. Oh. Hello, Mr. Man. Good morning, Cameron. I guess it's you. They think you're the boss. Okay.
They're very confused.
Okay, we're doing the cutting here. I've got a bit of show and tell today here.
Show and tell this morning.
A little bit. I know. It's still a bit too early though. Let's do the rotation and you can...
Okay. Let's see what everyone's talking about.
I kept the door open today because I wanted fresh air, and also the shoe lady made a really nice visit. We could hear her from a long way away, and she was in fine form this morning. She was scary again, just scary. Sorry, nothing else to say. You know, a little while later, just a few minutes ago, another lady came along, and you can just feel, oh my God, that woman has a much more relaxed approach to life. I mean, there's just nothing else to say. She is a scary person. Are you okay? Short sleeves? Is the door open? Close it if you like. It's up to you. Right now. We've had our big moments.
Our big moments.
There's a bunch of new people. I think we were raided or something. I didn't quite see what was going on. I think there was a raid. Well, so there might be a lot of new people here. So mention who you are, what we are, what's going on or something.
Do we have the new 2018 gift print on the Hunger Club board behind us? We do not.
No, and at the moment we don't have enough copies in stock to supply the shops.
Right.
At the moment we're just feeding online orders.
Yeah.
And if they can get ahead of it, not if, when they get ahead of it, we'll bring some to the shop here, absolutely. And in fact, I know, what was it? It wasn't yesterday, we were closed. Monday, a couple of people, I had them on my desk for checking. Yeah. That last batch that Asakusa made, and a couple of people wanted it.
Oh no!
Well, weren't you here behind the counter at the same time? There was one woman. Can I have that? Can I have that? I said, I'm sorry, I'm checking it. Well, it's okay. You know, the story's not ready. I don't care about the story. I just want the print.
Never mind. It was chillier than I thought it was.
So close it if you like it. I'm done.
No, it's nice having.
I just wanted fresh air for the first few minutes. So yeah, it's not a home run print like we had last year, but it's going to be a steady, popular part of the catalog. Clear enough. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Maybe you've already answered this, but Alexandra Lee Studios asked how many blocks are going to be on this print.
No, I didn't see it. It's a excuse me, it's going to be 4 pieces of wood cut on both sides, which will give us 8 impressions, I think. Although I've got to temper that because the way Jed's Photoshop layers come out and the way we do it are going to be different. So the first test printing is not going to really look quite like the sample image. And I've got to then figure out what adjustments need to be made to make it get a bit closer. He's done parts where he's done a Photoshop layer of light orange on top of dark gray, and it shows glowing orange in his Photoshop. Right. And that's not what will happen. If we print light orange over top of dark gray, it'll just be invisible. Yeah. It doesn't glow like it does on a computer screen. Right. So I don't know. But that's our goal for this whole series. That's our limit. 4 pieces of wood carved on both sides. No more than that, because we have to set a...
You have to print them fast enough.
Whatever, there's going to be a price for this thing, so it's got to be feasible, in terms of resources, number of blocks, carving time, printing time. And that's our limit for this one. And this image is touch and go to get within that set of parameters. You can pop it up and show it if you like. It's in there. It's in that list here under us 2019 series. Okay. If you pop it open for a minute,
So I'm getting worked on right now. So some of those orange glowing sections are in Photoshop file, a gray background with orange on
top right. There's distant trees over the buildings, behind the buildings on the right hand side. And that distant tree thing is done with a gray block. And what Jed did in Photoshop is he did a so it darkens. So there's a flat grey block for those trees. Then a light orange block giving the glow up from the bottom. Then a gradation coming down from the top to darken it. And it's just, we can't just can't do it that way. It's not going to work that way. So I'm not quite sure what those corners are going to look like.
Got it.
Got a coffee, okay?
Yeah, a little bit of a sore throat, not sure. I hope it doesn't last. Do we hand print? Yes, everything is printed by hand. No printing presses here.
No.
There we go. Maybe now I can talk.
It's not. You got a sore throat. I can hear it. It's in your throat. Sure.
Yeah.
So.
Makes my voice really low.
Oh, the girls are going to love it.
It's weird how, with a sore throat, your voice drops an octave or two. Stupid, sexy Cameron's voice. I've got a really deep voice and no girls love it. Sad face.
Today's Wednesday's Ladies' Day. So, actually, it's not. I know
things are all switched up.
They are, because if Teiko-san's been off for a few weeks, so all the staff on our rotations are all mixed.
Yeah.
Today it's going to be on a Shiba-san, as usual on Wednesday, with Dei-chan, and then Yamada-kun's coming.
Oh, he's coming.
Yeah,
Great.
first time
it's been
in
a while.
time.
Yeah.
So, not sure what he can do yet. He's spent so little time here, he doesn't really know the ropes, but whatever. And I got no answer yesterday. I wrote to that other lady.
Right.
And
Nothing
didn't get
yet.
a reply. No.
Okay.
So maybe she's not the type of person that looks at email much. I don't know.
Yeah.
If a couple of days goes by with no answer, I'll give her a call.
Yeah.
Because I think she would at least, the type of person she would at least have replied. No thanks.
Are fluorescent pigments used in woodblock printing ever?
We don't, but modern people are using all kinds of stuff, you know. Whatever.
Yeah.
We ourselves stick to a very traditional palette.
When is Audrey-san coming back? I think next Wednesday.
I think so,
next
yes.
time.
So,
yeah.
so.
She's been on a trip all over the place.
Yeah. We've had lots of French customers, and again, last one, lots and lots more. Also, about the airplane video, I gave you, I think what I said was sort of bad news. We've asked a couple of people. There's been very fewer people coming in the door saying they've seen the documentary.
Right.
So we thought maybe the contracts were running out and stuff.
Yeah.
And
after a year.
No, it's been months back, yeah. There was a couple in yesterday. We saw it on Air France. But I said, "Great, that's still running." He said, "Well, it was 3 weeks ago." So, thanks a lot.
Yeah.
But then there was another couple yesterday on KLM, and they saw it the day before yesterday.
Oh wow. Okay.
So it is still in November. It is still running on the KLM.
Wow.
Now, whether that's the whole package, KLM plus Air France plus whatever, I don't know. So it seems like it's not over yet. Yeah. I don't have any idea. It's the gift that just, like I said, keeps on giving.
Yeah. Ken Hallett asks, what about glow-in-the-dark pigment? They might work well for some of Shiba-san's work. I wonder if such a thing exists.
Don't let her know about that.
No. She can put it on the little cup in the corner of the shoka.
UV black light.
Yeah.
Hang it up in your bedroom while turn the lights off and put on your UV lamp or whatever, your black light. What's it called?
Yeah, black light. Can you mimic woodblock prints with linoleum prints? Depends on how detailed the design is.
Lino prints are a big deal. It's a related genre. Inherently different in it. For the most part, lino printing uses opaque pigments. For the most part, not exclusive. They're using oil-based pigments, which layer on top of each other, rather than layer through each other.
Right.
But it's very closely related. Lots of people do lino and or woodcut almost interchangeably here, if they're using oil.
Why go ultraviolet when you can go radioactive? Uranium pigments, let's go. I think we're getting a little crazy. Osiris Go Lad, maybe. So I love how it takes 3 artists or craftspeople to make these. It's a painter, designer, and then a carver and a printer. It is different from a lot of.
It's, speaking to be a bit picky about it, there's four buildings, but we call it the EQA Quartet. And the most important one, the publisher.
Wow.
I mean, he's the guy that has everything, the concepts. He's the one that says what kind of quality level is going to go on. He's the one that decides the imagery. It's his taste and his ability to finance it and his ability to put the project into the market that makes it all possible. Without that, none of the other stuff could happen. So for me, he's the most important part. Well, whatever. And just as important part of the group. The publisher, designer, carving team, printing team.
If you go further back, you've got paper makers and
suppliers.
Are they
but
still
that's
the same,
endless, of course, and count the customers as well. Whatever, the whole thing to make it all happen. But the productive team, the creative team that call these things into being,
Yeah.
And they're gutting the building across the street, the Tendon restaurant across the street next to the cafe. It's surprising. The poster outside, the sign outside says the construction will be finished by the end of December. And yet the detail of the construction work is they're gutting it, renovating down to the bones.
Yeah.
And at the moment there's a truck parked inside the first floor.
Inside the first floor.
So they've got it to that extent. Their construction supply truck parks inside the restaurant itself on the first floor because there's nowhere to park outside.
Right. Wow.
And that's how badly they've gutted it. And it says finished by December 28th. I'm like, what? A 4-story building? Gutted, so there's nothing left but the support posts.
They're working 24 hours a day.
I don't know.
Is it a new restaurant or the same?
I don't know. I mean, it's been a
company,
Tendon restaurant, and I had no sign that they were moving out. So I think it's the owner who owns the restaurant, owns the building, I guess.
Right. Just decided to renovate the whole thing?
Yeah, because it was pretty decrepit.
Yeah, okay. It's the one right on the corner of the block across the street from us.
Yeah.
Okay. I see them doing construction. I didn't realize they were ripping the whole thing.
And an interesting point came up. Aoyama and I, we went for dinner last night, a bunch of us, and Aoyama and I were standing looking at that thing and reading the sign, the construction details sign. And as an interesting point came up, we've talked before in the future, if we were ever able to buy this building, there's a difficult thing that we can't renovate it because when you rebuild a building, you have to go to modern codes and it's got to come back 50 centimeters from the property line on each side.
Yeah.
Well, what they're doing over there, they're not doing that. They've taken all the cladding off. They've taken the walls down. They've left the posts and beams and pillars, and they're rebuilding inside that. So it's a renovation.
And a reconstruction.
Yes, so they're not going to lose that 50 centimeters on each side. And we're looking at that and saying, aha, is there an actual way to get around this then? It's not illegal, but I don't know.
Yeah.
And when we looked at the sign, the construction details, the permit that they've got from Tokyo City, and it says it's a renovation. So that gives us another chance to think about how this building might work in the future, if we can actually do the same thing. I don't know. He may be able to get away with it because the hotel that surrounds him on 3 sides is built back from the property line. So in other words, for him to stay on the property line it doesn't really cause any heavy social damage, because there is a fire break between the two buildings.
Yeah.
But if somebody else was still at the property line, he wouldn't even be able to get there to build a wall because there's no access to it. So there's lots of ways to look at this.
So I'm still amazed that Dave was able to do all the construction on the first level shop and maintain all the printing processes at the same time.
Okay, well, a couple things. Me and Aoyama-san did it, right? Aoyama-san did the bulk of the work here. I built the sales counter, the coffee counter, worked on the floor, I built the bathroom, but Aoyama-san did. He created the party room from scratch, put the ceiling in. This is not Dave Bull single-handedly building all this, please. There's two of us did it. But yeah, there's 24 hours in a day, and other people go home, and I don't. So that's part of it. And also, it took 5 months to build 2 rooms. It should have taken a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
They're building that whole building across the street. They're 4-story buildings going to be renovated in a couple
6
of weeks.
weeks,
Whatever it is. Yeah. So. No, I'm no hero here.
Who makes your pigments? Do you prefer to use old bottles of pigment when you come across them?
Old what?
Old pigments when you come across them?
Yes and no. It's a complicated question. We're not using traditional pigments in the sense of the way they were used in the Edo era. Nobody is. Those pigments are completely fugitive. They don't last 10 minutes. If you made a print from those pigments and hung it on the wall, you're gone in days. So we use the kind of pigments that have been common use since the beginning of the 20th century, since Meiji time. They're ground mineral pigments. It's called in Japanese iwa enogu, or sometimes ganryo.
Yeah.
And they're really quite strong. They're not as delicate in tint and tone as the old traditional Edo era pigments, but they fit modern usage in that they don't fade dramatically badly.
Yeah.
So yeah, we use traditional pigments if you don't go back too far.
Yeah. No poisonous metals or anything in these ones.
Well, that's an open question. So the Namabe, Aoyama-san brought some pigments over that he had got from Namabe from the Yoshida workshop, and it's cadmium orange, cadmium red, blah blah blah. And I told him put them away because we don't play that game here. We don't use that stuff. For 2 reasons. One is they're not a traditional palette, and 2, I don't want the girls upstairs working with heavy metals or arsenic or toxic stuff.
Yeah.
It's just a question of common sense. But we already had 2 of them get pregnant. They were here working while they were pregnant before they knew they were pregnant.
Yeah.
We do not want crap like that in this workshop.
Got it.
Well, so the colors are different. We want a more traditional color palette. So for us, that's a no-brainer.
So you're a true Renaissance guy. Carving, printing, toilet installation, mice fighting.
Yeah, it's an interesting word. We used to have this expression, the Renaissance man. When I was younger, I would look at some of the adults and think, oh my God, he's doing all these different skills. And it's funny, I have mixed feelings about that. Yeah, I do stuff. I do computer programming, I do carving, I do printing. I do stuff that normally one man's job wouldn't think to encompass.
Right.
So in that sense, there's that he's a Renaissance man aspect to it. But the other part of me wants to reject that kind of classification, in that I think if you go back in time a little bit, or perhaps go to different environments, it was a normal part of any man's life and job to be able to handle a lot of different things that came down the pipe at him. If you think of like the North American pioneers, whatever, as sort of a bit of an extreme example, they get in a wagon train and head west, and is he a Renaissance man? Yeah. No, he's got to do this, do that, do this, do that. Yeah. Figure out how to plant crops. Give birth to his wife's baby and stuff. Whatever.
Yeah.
It's a normal part of the human experience before we broke up into this specialized lifestyle that the Industrial Revolution brought along.
Yeah.
So mixed feelings about that. I think I'm a normal guy. I'm kind of handy. I do a lot of different things. Do I think of myself in the Leonardo sense as a Renaissance man? He's the prime example of why we use that expression, because he was a painter, sculptor, architect, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. So I have different I just like to be challenged by different stuff, and if something comes along, a job needs to be done, rather than Lucas, I'd like to try doing it myself, you know. So, and since I've done that from a kid, you get used to it. You know?
Yeah.
But am I a Leonardo? Let's pass on that one. No, thank you. So.
Twitch Zombie asks, what's the size of this print? Chuban? Aiban? I don't know.
It doesn't fit.
Aiban.
All the work we're doing with Jed has had its origins in what Jed created as a Photoshop file, basically randomly. Not randomly in that prints have proportions, the golden ratio or whatever. But we don't build our prints with Jed based on the traditional paper and wood size. And that's caused some problems sometimes in that there's wastage of paper.
Okay.
And what we did when he and I were planning this one, I made sure that we did it at a size that I could cut from larger sheets of paper without too much wastage. But the print itself doesn't fall into the categories of Aiban, Koban, Chuban, stuff like that. The dimensions are going to be, I think it's, I've forgotten, the paper size is what? It's 17 centimeters by 13, something like that. I'm sorry, I don't remember the exact numbers. It's larger than a postcard size. It's almost the same size as the portrait prints we did a while ago. And these are a little thinner because their portraits needed to be a bit wider and fatter to show a physical human face. These are a little bit taller and skinnier because they're, for the most part, going to be, they're entirely going to be landscapes. And they're all going to be vertical. We've decided not to do any horizontal ones in the same format. They're all going to be a vertical format to keep the series consistent in size and structure. And it's going to make the case construction easier. We don't have to have the case allow the print to be laid down sideways. So. What's the time, Kim? So we have an interesting show and tell.
8:54.
Okay, let me finish this little block here, this little corner, and then remind me if I have forgotten by then about the show and tell. It's a package that came in yesterday. Today's
Wednesday.
So it was the usual Sunday night. There were a ton of auctions on Sunday. We've recently got a whole bunch of stuff, not through the normal route. We're getting a lot of stuff through Yahoo auctions. We get stuff from the dealer auctions. We have a friend of ours, an associate of ours, who gets stuff from us through the wholesale markets. Yeah. So recently we've got lots and lots of new things here.
Lots of new things.
New old things here.
Right. That was a mountain of
that's
new
I know.
stuff.
It was just, I should have taken a photograph of the pile before we dug into it because it was so cool. Yesterday when we were packing, the two kids were here yesterday, Koizumi-kun and Louis-chan. Louis-chan's going through just the packing, so it's a bit mindlessly. She's a young girl, not so interested in ukiyo-e prints per se. She's happy here, learning and doing the job. But she's going through the stuff. Okay, pack this one. I pack that one. Pack this one. And she says, "Oh my God!" in her little girl's voice. And we're like, "What's wrong? What's wrong? What's wrong?" She says, I gotta have it. I want this one." I'm like, "What are you talking about?" And it turned out that the print was from a series of views of famous places in old Edo, and it was Monzen Nakacho, which is, I don't think she lives there, but she lives near there, and it's the image that was in the print was Fudo Hachimangu. It's one of the shrines in the area there, Fukugawa Fudo, whatever. And she says that's where her husband proposed to her. And right there in the print is the same steps going up to the shrine where her husband proposed to her. And so she's just shouting, "I gotta have this, I gotta have this. How much is this? Is it too much? How can I get this?" And she was so enthusiastic. So of course she took it home, whatever. Any of the stuff that's that interested in one of our prints, of course, go for it. I'm just happy that she's interested,
Yeah.
And this is the thing, when these things start to have relevance to your life, then this is what it's all about, It just gets better and better. So we joked with her for a while. First, she didn't really know what she was packing in terms of value and stuff. So I said, "I don't know, those cost us a pretty fair amount." She said, "Oh no, please, but I gotta have this, I gotta have this." And actually it was in a box of prints that was the bottom of the bargain bin, the bottom of the bargain bin.
But it was nicely printed.
Beautiful job. And in fact, I'm a bit sad about this because we could have put that in at a very nice margin in the flea market, a very fair price for somebody to buy in the shop. Yeah. And we could have made bacon working on it, you know, because
Yeah.
we got it so cheaply. So, you know. Of course, I was laughing because he's been in the same situation before, and he knew basically what we were paying for those things. So he just let me string her out for a while.
Yeah.
It was good fun.
But yeah, it sounds like she's led a tour there and stuff. It's just
Yeah,
an
so
important
it was
part
good fun. Yeah,
of the city for her.
So, what's that? A group of 50 tourists or something?
Yeah.
I couldn't believe that story though.
But there was a picture. It was
Yeah,
wild.
yeah.
She had just started it, or made a Facebook group like, I'm gonna go lead a small tour.
Yeah, free
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 cheap
walking tour. Yeah, whatever.
in that neighborhood, and she was expecting 10, 15 people, and 50 signed up, and she was, what? So she got some friends to help her out.
But that's funny. That she's the kind of girl that wouldn't have panicked. That would have just said, "All right, let's roll. Let's do this thing." And
Yeah.
that's really what I want. I love her for this. You know?
Yeah.
This is the kind of employee I want.
Yeah.
Just oops. Well, now what I'm going to do? Plan B. Let's get going with this. You know.
Yeah.
So, and she must have done so cheerfully. And even though she didn't. I asked her, "Do you know what the history of this place?" She says, "No, not a little bit." It didn't matter, you know.
Yeah, as long as you make it fun for the people.
Yeah, exactly. So I really like her. I'm glad that we've got her.
Yeah.
And if she's starting to get interested in the prints themselves, then good. Okay, a little bit of show and tell.
All right. Oh yeah, after you finish that corner, show and tell.
Yeah, I did. Okay, thanks for reminding me, Cameron. Yeah, great. But I help you are. They've probably reminded us already, have they? Whatever.
No, not yet.
Okay, what I've done is I've prepared a couple of pictures in the back, but don't pop them up yet.
Okay.
No. It's marked as, what have I done here? Be careful of the plugs. It's marked as $10.
Okay.
The file folder. I know, whatever, you know where this is going to go.
Yeah.
Okay, there's this print here. Am I zoomed up far enough? This is a fairly
Looking good.
large print. I don't know if we can, you give me a hint about what's going on. Okay, it's a large piece of paper.
Yeah.
This is, I don't know the exact date. Doyce, our associate, will be able to give me the exact date because this is from a large book/magazine.
Okay.
And you can see the binding places here. This sheet of
big
paper
book.
was bound 1, 2, 3. It was bound into a book/magazine. It was soft covers.
Right.
There would have been 10 or 12 woodblock prints, and there would have been 10 or 12 sheets of paper interleaved with them explaining what this is. Because what it was a book published to teach people about the old paintings.
Right.
Now, this is a woodblock print, but the magazine book was about early ukiyo-e paintings.
Okay.
And they didn't have color offset printing in the way that we do.
Right.
So the only way to show a reproduction of that old painting that was in a museum was to make a woodblock
Print out of
print
it.
copy of it.
Got it.
So this wasn't sold as a woodblock print. It was sold as a book about paintings. And the text would have talked about the way the guy's delicate brushwork worked, or blah, blah, blah,
Yeah.
blah, blah, or, it was the history of the painting.
That.
But the technical way to make this book was by woodblock printing. So this is actually a woodblock print, and you can see it here. There are striations from the barren where the guy rubbed the color, and looking under the microscope, I can see that all the lines are carefully carved and printed. But the point being, this is not an art object. This is printed matter. It's a book page torn out from a book that happens to have been created by the technique of Japanese woodblock printing. And we're going to try and zoom in here, and zoom in, and zoom in, and zoom in. And I'm not sure where to start. What I did was I scanned this last night. I went to your scanner,
Okay.
your A3 scanner,
Right.
and I scanned it. And if you pop up, let's pop up the thing here just for a minute. This was the first picture on the auction page. Woodblock print, question mark, rolled up, arrow down. So here's the print itself, which you've just seen. This is the way it came to me yesterday. It had been rolled up. So what I did last night, actually while the staff was still here, I soaked it. I didn't put it in a bath, but I've got some newsprint, totally moistened the newsprint, wet it, flattened it, wet the print from the back side, put it in, and we pressed it for about 3 or 4 hours, and then I dried it out. And it has not, hang on, go back, you're running ahead of me a bit. So the point being, it used to be rolled up, and you could still see some faint lines. I pop that down a minute, sure, to put it away from. There are still some faint lines that show where it was rolled, because I can't get them out 100%, but we have basically got that back down to a flat piece of paper from being rolled up.
For who knows how long.
whatever, 100 years or something. So this is definitely late Meiji. Doi-san will know, because he knows this magazine. He's got a bunch of them himself. So he'll be able to tell me 1893, the August issue, or whatever, something like this. So. Pop it up again. I was going to start, okay. Right. There's the picture before. Okay, go ahead, one more.
Okay.
Then we moved in. And it's stained, and I can't get all of those stains out. They're going to be in here, something at some point.
Where's that on here?
Move on. Next picture. Okay, here we go. Now, there you go. Now, before we go ahead any further, take a look at this. She's sitting on what looks like, is it a carpet? I'm not quite sure. There's a red sort of carpet thing that she's sitting on. Yeah. And what I did was I scanned this out. You'll have to go back to the images. You're going to have to go through it. It starts always at that one. Pop to the next one. I see. I close up her face first. It's 3 blocks for the hair. A dark block for the overlay, and there's 2 gray blocks which interweave and intertwine to give the effect of more full hair. So there's 3 hair. The hair is carved 3 times. And look at her nose. Can you see inside her nose? We're talking about the area just inside her nose. Yeah. There's an extra color block in there, just to give a bit of a color tint and a tone to the inside of her nose. These guys have gone nuts with the block count on this. I have no idea how to count how many blocks. Poke ahead one more. There's the fan and the scale here. If I can put it in the back, there's my finger here, and they've carved all this little pine needles and whatever, and even and this is just, remember, the purpose was to show the reproduction of the painting. So they want to try and show as many details of the painting as they possibly can. It wasn't to make a spectacular woodblock print. It was to show the beautiful original painting. Go ahead to the next one. And people who have watched me carving our octopus will know what this is about. That red gradation in the background is created by carving a bajillion little red dots. And we have, just a minute now, we don't just have red dots. We have red dots around the outside. These curlicues are done by carving with black dots. Here, they are white dots. And then up here, can we see it? There's a bunch of gray dots. You can see them in your plot. There's a bunch of white dots in the corner, and there's some yellow dots above the gray dots. There's color block after color block after color block, just full of little tiny dots.
Oh my goodness.
Just full of little tiny dots. And you know how they're carved. That's the leftover wood. You have to carve around all those dots. These are not, the original painter would just, with his brush, he would just paint, just paint, and the carver then says, okay, Jack, out of my way, let's get going. And this is a magazine page. It's one page of what would have been 10 or 12 pages in this book, in this magazine.
That's wild. There are white dots in the border.
Yeah, white dots in the border. So.
And even the curlicues, they have the, what is it? Is it black or blue or green
gray,
dots?
It's a green, gray,
and then it also
blue,
has
gray dots on top of, in the back, yes.
Yeah.
And this area here, the thing here, this is a red pale gradation printed in the background as a square. So the guy must have brought his brush here and then brought his brush along here to bring in as a gradation. And this print is full of gradations all over the place.
All over the place.
And this was just one more book page. Okay, on to the next. Here's the auction page, and you can see what's happening here. There were 3 prints, only 1 bid, me. I got it at opening price, 1,000 yen. And there are 3 prints. Close that down, and let's have a look.
So could they have done those dots with a metal sheet? Was this too early? Were people not using metal at all?
You can see the carve. When you look at it, you close up, you can see where the guys run a straight line and then round. These are hand carved. You can see hand carved.
But could they have, is I think what they're asking.
At this point in time, I don't know what technology was there. I don't know. No idea. I know.
But these ones are definitely carved.
You can tell the difference. If you do it photographically, then somebody draws dots. They've got brush shape. You photograph it, that's what you get. These have a carved shape. Each dot has a little triangle shape or a power or a pop where the knife came and clicked off and popped off and whatever. And you can see a place where he's run along 5 dots at one time. They all have a straight edge right beside each other, like that. Anyway, here we are. It's 1 print, and there are. It's 3 altogether. There's a
3
second
of these
one,
for 1,000 yen.
and there is a 3rd one here. And this one actually is even more spectacular. In the middle of the hair, it's got front rubbing on the hair and stuff like that. So yeah, 3 prints, 4 1,000, yeah. And nobody bid because they just don't even know what they're seeing.
Are these collection or shop?
Yeah, like we're going to sell them in the shop for $12 each.
No, not for $12.
These are going in the collection, the period. Sorry about that. I'm going to pull rank. That's okay. We're going to video them. We're going to talk about it. We're going to show them for years. We are not going to be selfishly hoarding these things tucked away somewhere.
That hat looks like it's flying off the back of the head.
It's, I don't know if we can do this. Can we? I'm going to try. It's done in all bronze. Are we going to try and get
Some of the shine.
it to shine? I can't find the spot. Sorry.
When you turn it, though, you can see the...
It's got embossing and
the
front
embossing,
rubbing,
very
and
pretty.
it's got a shine on it. I can't find the spot. Help me, Cam. I don't know what to do. I can't find the
either.
shining spot, you know. We're going to get it.
Oh, you can see a little bit of color.
You've almost got it. Almost got it. Reflection from the light.
So you mugged the poor guy. Just 1,000 yen.
I didn't mug him at all. Somebody
No.
put an auction up, and that's what you get when you put up stuff for auction. He didn't describe it carefully. He didn't show good pictures. He didn't give us a hand. I knew what it was. There's opaque pigments here. Sometimes we see some white stuff printed. So this is not ukiyo-e type printing.
Right.
This is closer to the Kyoto type printing where we're using opaque pigments.
Because they're trying to copy a
They're
paint.
trying to copy painting, of course. So exactly. There's an Atenashi gradation here. Gradation just with formless, just rubbing loosely with a brush to get it in. You know, so. And it's beautifully, beautifully made. And under the scope, I can't find any misregistration. I mean, this depth. Just look at my finger. Look at my finger. You know, I mean, the scale of this thing.
It's wild.
I'm just so pleased to be able to own these things and show them and talk about them. You know, the fact that it was a cheap purchase, okay, that's a bonus, but whatever.
Asking about gradients. How would they normally be done if... How would gradients normally be done? I guess compared to doing it with all the dots? I don't know exactly what they're asking, but it seems like some new faces are asking. How are gradients normally done? And would it be one block for the gradient, or would you need separate blocks for the gradients? People are
I'm not sure what to say here. I don't see a simple example of woodblock gradation here. I know.
They're all pretty complex.
Yeah, and so I don't have a simple example to show you. And a gradation is usually done by wiping powder. Here, maybe we can show you this one. Yeah, if we go back here. If we look at this area here, what we're talking about is the pink. There seems to be a pink cloud here. So there would have been a block carved for roughly the shape here of this carpet. In fact, you can see it. Can you see it here? Mm-hmm. There's a white stripe. Ignoring the white stripe, coming inside it, there's an area of this carpet. And this has been printed at least twice. Once it's been printed with a flat color, the color under my fingertip. You can see the white area where there's no color. The under area of my fingertip is the flat color. Then the same block was used again, and the printer just rubbed pink pigment in the area where my finger is going here. And he did it, rubbing it in a way that the pigment became a gradation. It faded out to nothing. So you can see the cloud, the pink cloud. And that's a gradation. And it's rubbed on the block with a brush. Then when you put the paper on the block and rub the back of it, the Baron doesn't know that it's a gradation. It just thinks it's a flat color.
Right.
So that color was printed twice. Once as a base tone, and once with a gradation on top of it. And then on top of this is other patterns. There's the dots and the gray and everything else is printed on top of it. It's so nicely done, just so nicely done. Perfectly registered on such a large sheet of paper. Even these blue-gray tones, my God, how did they do that? What pigment did they use? And then these things have just been kept unopened and untouched for 100 years or whatever. It's too bad about the creasing. We'll never get the creases out of here completely, but it doesn't matter. We can get them pretty much taken care of. And whether you like the art or whether it's any interest to you, I don't know. I mean, this is it's a history book showing the history of Japanese painting. That's come too far. Here we go. And again, the scale, that's my finger. So there's a human face with tiny hairs all carved inside the space of one fingernail. And this is printed, put onto wood blocks and rubbed from the back. Again and again and again. the 3 hair blocks, the eyes, the nose, the color for the mouth. You know, and there's just a little hair floating away by itself here, crisscrossing all the other ones. You know.
It's possible that the printings would be slightly different. Yes, but they tried their very hardest to make each one very consistent.
I only have one of each of these, so what can I say? The goal from the printer would have been to make them as close as possible. Because remember, this was a reproductive medium. This was the printing business. It wasn't to make one art object.
Yeah.
And that catalog, that magazine, if you'd have flipped through 1 copy, 2 copies, 3 copies, you would have found more. 99.99% identical. Absolutely.
Their color in the face? No, it looks like that's the white paper.
I
is
think
that right?
that's the white paper. That's an interesting point, and I'd like to get under the microscope again and look at the back of it, because it could be that they've printed a white flat tone on the face before they started printing. And the only way to tell that is look at the back, and I don't see striations on the back there, so I think the face is raw paper, but I'm not 100% sure of that at this point. It could be printed with a faint white pigment. You can also just look at the hand here. Yeah. The hand looks to me looks a bit brighter white than the paper. Yeah, there's striations. I don't know if you can see that. There's a few striations. So yes, I think there might have been a white pigment printed over the whole body of the thing in the central area before they started the other color work. I don't know. There's lots of detective work to do here.
And do you know who the painter was for these original paintings?
Let's see. This was Miyagawa Choshun. Where's the signature here? You can see Miyagawa. Miyagawa Choshun. You're getting.
Haru is Shun usually, but I know names can be read a million different ways. So
we're out of my pay grade. These artists here were not woodblock printmakers or woodblock print designers, so it's a little bit out of my sphere of expertise. If Doi-san was here, he would know just instant. He could just read that thing.
Yeah.
But again, the book was a history of ukiyo-e painting, not anything to do with the history of ukiyo-e printmaking.
Right.
And there we have it. Interesting little item. It's going to go in there.
Find blocks from this period, this time period.
My God, that would be rare. They would have been printed and just tossed. Absolutely. There would have been no reason whatsoever to keep them. Once the magazine run had been done, there's no sense that you reprint the magazine again later on. Remember, these weren't prints to be sold one by one in a shop.
Yeah.
It was the publishing business that printed a magazine, and it might have been it wouldn't have been a magazine that went into bookstores for selling 10,000 copies. It would have been like an art collector's magazine or something like this.
Yeah.
And I have no idea, 200 copies, 500 copies, 1,000 copies, whatever. But once it was done, out to go, move on to the next issue.
Yeah.
So there would have been no sense that these should have been preserved or kept whatsoever.
The neck cat or mune, kubineko, muneneko. I don't think I've heard that term, but it must be that cat right there. Kantar saying the classic neck cat. At least that cat actually looks like a cat.
Yeah, you
and the dog looks pretty decent.
Dog,
Look at that.
Yeah, sort of.
Sort of. It's close.
Yeah.
I've seen worse.
Yeah, so that's what I was going to say. I don't know if it's close, but yes, I've seen worse.
He says, I'm just kidding. It's really weird. Yeah, it is weird.
Okay, away they go. Let's do a bit of work here before we sign off. So.
9:15. It's 9:15 in case you.
Can you put them over on the counter somewhere there? So, thank you. Oh, Suga-san. Oh, Cameron, bring it back. You're 1 minute too late. Suga-san.
You take the best.
Auction. Kino no auction goods. Have a look. Sorry to get back.
すごい。なんじゃこれ。
明治ですね。雑誌のページですね。多分雑誌のコンテンツは昔の書き塾の説明。宮川長春とか A さんとか B さんの説明。その時代に、もちろんカラー印刷なかったんですけど、木版画で作ってますね。
うわ
細かいでしょ。
うわ綺
No, she's gonna faint from
Mecha kirei.
excitement. Looking at this.
麗あめっちゃ綺麗
ちゃんとぴったり
あ
羽の裏に
すごい綺麗
ピンク色ありますし、
あ
ぼかしあちこちに
あ本当だ
本当に細かい。それから真っ黒でしょ。We're looking at Sugi-san's hair.
へえ
You're showing the string
何
of your
あ
hair.
見えない本当
Hair's
だ
so realistic. How did they?
So
Oh, wait, that's her.
that's Sugi-san's hair.
すごいよ
そう
もう一枚のこっちは
今3
こっちも
枚ですね。はい、
3枚
そう
うわー本当だうわー細かい毛抜けすごいうわうわうわすごいうわ
We should just have streams of
So
Suga-san's
we just a
reactions.
1 hour stream just listening to Sugi-san go, oh my god. Japanese. そう
うわ
綺麗でしょ。
ー綺麗すごい
申し訳ないんですが、オークション3枚。
3枚
いくら
いくら
と思
またそういうお買い得商品データ言っていいの今言っちゃダメでしょ
う？大丈夫です。
1000円。
嘘本当に
僕だけでしたとしました。他に僕だけです。
いなかったんだこんな綺麗なのに、すごっ
She's flabbergasted.
すごっこれって何センチ
あれ、先に次
あこれいらないこれさ
だから
11ぐらいしかない
ギフ
トにする
でももう本当にあ
だってギフ
のものは
トそんな売れてなくない
売れてますよそ
なんか
うで今ギフト 2回目でしょ杉さん
2
が
回目終わったら90枚でしょ
はい
90枚でまだ必要かな
と思ったんでしょそ
であと今65枚あれいちゃんおはよう
ごめん
あとプラス今65枚新しいやつ
We've abandoned the stream here.
Sorry, guys. Too much
次か
excitement.
ら次へと
だからあのものは何枚残ってる
まだ11枚あるんだけどね
あんまり売れない
売れない
今
か
ギフトページに載ってないし
じゃあギフトの方がいい
ギフトかミミズクか
あミミズク
そう
今じゃあみんなミミズクやるからねあじゃあ3人でミミズクやる
だからじゃあちょっと終わってからちょっと上行って考えましょうかなちょっと待ってくださいね
でもレイちゃんも今ミミズクやってるからあごめん耳のレイちゃん
Okay, where are we?
じゃあとりあえず髪だけ切っちゃっていいかな
でもあのものも15ですね
あれ15ですよね
そうでしょだからパッケに入るために
とりあえず 15.5 大きめにしとけば大丈夫ですよ
かなそう
はい
Okay, it's a bit chaotic here ね
失礼しました
Okay, sorry, thank you Okay I just better get on with it. Let's shut this down thing, Cameron. I don't know what's the plan here. Today is Wednesday. I haven't followed the stream this year. Is it?
I heard Mimizuku. Owl activated.
間違えちゃう
We're in the middle of gift print season, and then the orders are coming in. So
Talking about what to print next.
So we're talking with Susan what to print next, which is the #1 priority, and it's going to be heroes from here on in for a while. So, okay. Anyway, let's get to work here. Shut this down. Tomorrow I'll be here, same time, same place. What happened Monday? I was carving this wiggly line here along here, and I opened the stream today, just picking up exactly where I left off.
Right.
So probably tomorrow's stream will be exactly where am I? I just finished popping
Part
out
of the
this.
tree.
I'll be here tomorrow morning carving this next branch. I think.
Yeah.
I doubt I'll have time to do this tonight. So let's do that.
Okay.
It's Wednesday now, Thursday morning. Back to me. Okay, if we're going to turn around. Dangerous here to pull out these plugs. Okay, guys, thanks for a bit of a chaotic approach here at the moment. Whatever, things are happening. Our day is getting up and running. I'll be back here tomorrow, same time, same station, continuing this block. Maybe a show and tell. I don't know. No idea.
We'll see what arrives in the mail.
So. I really shouldn't do that too much because it takes quite a bit of time away from my working time. Ray-chan, they're all saying good morning too. Hello, Ray-chan. Hello, Rayo. Hey, Rayo. Hey, oh, Rayo. Okay, we're out of here. Thanks very much for watching. Back again tomorrow for another stream. See you then.
See you later.
Oops, wrong button. Anyway, there it is. Yeah, look at this. Dot dots, dots, dots. Look at those freaking dots.
I
You can see places, where his knife ran along. Look, there's a line of them there, where his knife just ran along doing, here, look at this, look at this. 1, 2, 3,
Ohayou gozaimasu.
4. Oh! The package delivery lady is just here. Sakubarai. Cameron, grab the package.
We've got 2. Cardboard one and a foam one. Bubble wrap one.
The package lady is here just now from the post office. I'm not going to open it right now. Don't get upset. I'm not going to open it right now. But at some point, we'll have to see what's inside here. What are they? Looking by the size of the packages. I'm trying to think what we got here.
2370円。
They're postage delivery, so. You can't steal them, Karen? Not yet? Okay. Oh, she's beeping them with her barcode. That's it. We're not going to open these now. Don't panic. We're not going to open them. Yeah. Take the paper. Okay. What have we got? Well, I know what's inside here. Oh, yeah. This is a broken. Oh no, that's this bottom one. This is a broken set of Adachi prints. It's one of the Adachi famous print sets, 1970s, 71s, whatever.
Yeah.
And it's a broken set. The most famous ones are gone, and it was just there's the dregs left. So it went for next to nothing. And this one, I don't remember. Oh, yeah. We got that Kabuki set last week where we had 16 prints in the set and there were 2 missing. We struggled to find some other auctions and I got one of the 2 missing ones, not both of them. Anyway, I have got to get out of here. Enough. Stop teasing you guys. Sorry. Stop teasing you. Out of here. See you tomorrow. Thanks again for watching. I hope it's been fun for everybody as well.
Ooh, dregs. Ooh, kabuki.